Now, in real life, you can have the best of times and the worst of times, but under the Trump-obsessed media, it's all bad all the time. And you know things are pretty good when the Trump's pissed off storyline gets trotted out.
President Trump isolated, growing more furious by the day. His mood dark and angry.
The president is lashing out at the Mueller probe.
The president is said to be in a foul mood.
The president's state of mind is the worst it's been since the campaign, and that among the West Wing staff, there is a near universal sense of foreboding.
Ooh, a universal sense of foreboding. That's how I feel after eating Taco Bell. But Trump, he's mad, so mad that maybe he'll stage a coup.
In the sad event he does run, and he does lose, which would be a happy event, it would be stunning what we would see. He would be a president going, I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving. Can call the military. I mean, it is that. We have to look at this man. He really would do that.
I'm looking at that man. Fun fact, MSNBC made him in a lab with chicken wire and Botox paste. So now that the apocalypse has been postponed until after brunch, we must make do with the old chestnut. Trump's unstable. And no wonder, when some networks stop talking about how bad Trump is, what are you left with? Them. The empty talkers, the noisemakers in suits, jaw-clacking dolls with broken hinges and tummy tucks. They cling to Trump's mood like it's candy-colored Klonopin. Even as the news looks pretty good for America. He just scored a bipartisan win on prison reform. Even Van agrees.
The 99 times I don't agree with the president, I'm going to give him hell. But on this one, I'll give him a salute and an applause. We've got to come together to help the people at the bottom.
And while the networks OD on Trump rage, the president signed a measure Monday to create a new National Historic Park for Martin Luther King Jr. But wait, how can that be? How can Trump do this? Isn't he racist?
The president of the United States is racist.
Well, if he's a racist, he's really bad at it. Trump, the world's worst racist. You know, that's a great idea for a coffee mug. World's worst racist. Like, world's best. Yeah. No. Also missed, there was the Medal of Freedom honors. George Herman Babe Ruth Jr.
George Herman Babe Ruth Jr. He was a junior. I can imagine what his father was like.
I just love that. What's his father like? All right. Then you have Trump's arch hemorrhoid, the ambulance-chasing chuckle bucket, Michael Avenatti. Busted. Now, this isn't funny. He was busted on suspicion of striking a woman, allegedly. Of course, the cad is innocent until proven guilty. That's what good people believe in, even if people like him don't. He could be innocent as Brett Kavanaugh was when Avenatti was tormenting him. I just hope the media does a little soul-searching after booking this clown incessantly. The media soul-searching, that's like looking for Bigfoot. It's not so long ago Avenatti was their darling. CNN and MSNBC were junkies to his anti-Trump crack. But now he's toxic, and so the media that loved you pretends you never dated. It's like me in my Backstreet Boys pajamas. I pretend I never owned them, but for years I wore them under my school uniform. Which leads me to a new, huge landmark study on media trust. The Hollywood Reporter surveyed thousands of people on who's the most trusted name in news. Now, I don't want to say the surprising anchor who blew away the competition, so we'll just throw to this video.
In 2018, a landmark poll surveyed Americans to determine the most trusted news media personalities. The results are in, and one of the most trusted names in news is none other than Greg Gutfeld. It's just another prestigious accolade for the host of Fox News' flagship program, The Greg Gutfeld Show. He bested some of the most established industry insiders, like Wolf Blitzer, Stephanie Ruhle, Katie Tur, Don Lemon, Rachel Maddow, Brooke Baldwin, Mika Brzezinski, Chris Cuomo, Chris Matthews, Lawrence O'Donnell, and of course, the absolute least trustworthy name on the list, Joe Scarborough, who came in at rank 49 out of the 49 listed in the poll. Others were barely able to come out ahead of Greg Gutfeld. Those include Jake Tapper, Dana Perino, Craig Melvin, Chris Wallace, Andrea Mitchell, Harris Faulkner, Brian Williams, David Muir, Anderson Cooper, and Lester Holt. But it's clear the real winner is you, America. You get to watch one of the most trustworthy, charismatic, and handsome news media professionals 6 days a week. So join us in celebrating television's most prolific broadcaster, Greg Gutfeld.
Thank you. No, stop it. Scarborough, dead last. Maybe he should have stuck to whatever he was doing before TV.
When do we get the check? How does this work?
I also beat Chris Cuomo and Don Lemon. I wonder how they took that.
Don't be so sensitive, Chris.
I'm sorry.
Cuomo. Okay, thank you. Everything is not about you, okay?
I'm sorry.
Somebody looks like he better get after it. But like I always say, when life gives you Don Lemons, go watch Greg Gutfeld. I also bested Rachel Maddow. How can that be, Rachel?
I usually have so many words. I have the best words. For this, I have no words. Seriously, this just happened. Woohoo!
To quote Rachel, woohoo! All right, but even I gotta admit, this is weird. There's something wrong when I'm more trusted than Wolf Blitzer. How can that be? He's boring, and he has a beard, which makes him instantly trustworthy. I mean, I'm flattered by this, but I'm also terrified. Me trusted by you? I don't even trust myself. I won't even be alone with me. But here's the real problem. The list had mixed commentators with reporters, which is stupid. FNC has both, but we clearly label what's what. Other networks, they aren't as clear, which is why so many people mistake opinion for fact, which leads to fake news. No wonder people think Trump is crazy or insane. It's an opinion coming from their news sources, and that isn't healthy. If we only had something for that.
He would be a president going, I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving. Can call the military. I mean, is that...
Trump is going to engineer a coup. He's going to round up families and separate children. He's going to imprison women and turn them into baby-making factories.
Hold on there, partner. Where'd you come up with this?
Well, just watching TV and talking to my friends.
Sounds like you need new friends.
New friends? Tell me more.
New Friends is not a drug, but a group of people who present a different set of opinions that more clearly reflect reality than the talking heads on TV.
Wow, sounds great. Where do I start?
First, you'll want to go outside. Then maybe go to a hardware store, or a grocery store, or a local church. No playgrounds. Then initiate conversation without mentioning politics. Do you have neighbors?
Yeah.
Maybe talk to them about the weather or sports or their pets. They love to talk about their pets. Do they like you?
Yes. Oh, no. Ever since I took down their Trump signs.
That's okay. Maybe apologize with a bottle of wine.
Sounds great. I never thought of that. I'm going to give it a try.
New Friends is the best way to keep you from going down the paranoid, angry rabbit hole that turns people like Joe Scarborough and Donnie Deutsch into gibbering idiots. Act now and we'll throw in this handy Deutsch bag. It's a burlap sack that you place over your TV when Donnie is on TV. So get New Friends today. Side effects include being happier and more stuff to do.
Let's welcome tonight's guest, publisher's grovel when he writes a new novel, author of Up in the Air and columnist at Harper's Mag, Walter Kern. He's a comedian by night and a guy in his underwear by day. Writer and comedian Joe DeVito. She's smirky, quirky, and a fan of beef jerky. National Review reporter Kat Timpf. His stature is iconic. His dinner plate's tectonic. Former WWE superstar, massive sidekick, and starting November 28th, host of Un-PC on Fox Nation, Tyrus. All right, Walter. You've been traveling the country. Give us your pulse. Is it as dark? Is the mood dark? Is it foreboding?
You mean, is the mood of the country the same as Trump's mood is supposedly?
Yes.
No, the country is partying like crazy. You get out there, people who haven't had jobs in 17 years are like, you know, can I buy you lunch? But the Trump thing, here's what's happening. They did all the president's men. You know, Robert Mueller, he's closing in, you know, all the reporters. Now they've moved on to the final days,
right.
which was the next Woodward Bernstein book about Nixon praying, you know, to portraits late at night. So in their inability to imagine anything other than a Nixonian president,
right.
They're going even further.
Yeah. Any thoughts on Avenatti?
No.
Excellent.
No. They say he looks like a certain male organ. And I've never thought that. That's my only thought.
You know, I've never thought that either until now. Joe, you haven't been traveling the country. In fact, you've been a shut-in since.
I've been holed up.
Yes. What are your thoughts on any topic from the monologue you see fit?
I think Avenatti, if you saw him playing an evil lawyer in a movie, Pacino would say that's a little over the top. He's really pushing it. I like how Donnie Deutsch says that Donald Trump wouldn't respect the results of an election. Gee, who does that sound like?
It's true. It's true. By the way, I like your beard. Kat, what do you make of my award? Actually, it wasn't an award. It was my rating as being one of the most trusted men in news. You probably saw that coming.
I'm just so happy to see you happy, Greg.
Thank you.
Anything else?
No. What are your thoughts?
I'm just so glad that I am not the president and that I don't have everyone in the media analyzing my mental state all day, every day. I was just looking at that and imagining what stories they'd say about me.
Yes.
They'd be like, she wakes up every morning next to an elf bobblehead doll. You know, like, she makes us listen to Return of the Mac on repeat during national security briefings. You know, I own like 23 pairs of penguin socks. Why does she keep tweeting about lizards at 3 in the morning? And why is she always alone? But thankfully, nobody knows any of those things.
No, not at all. We know very little about you. Tyrus? For one thing, you made an excellent point that Stormy's life was far better before Avenatti.
Yeah.
And so this is a guy who actually ruined a woman's life.
No, you didn't ruin any woman's life. You ruined a porn star's life. That takes skill and talent. Your characterization of Avenatti was not fair to pancreases everywhere. That's just not fair. Not fair. They got a tough job, you know, digesting wood.
Don't they still owe Trump money?
Yes.
That's the best.
right.
And see, apparently you were out on a mission. I covered this a few weeks ago.
Oh, okay.
I don't know where you were, writing a book or something. But
Sorry, Tyrus.
when she started, she was a director.
Yes.
She was going places, but she wasn't unveiling in those places. She was middle management,
Right.
let's say.
Mm-hmm.
She had gotten money.
Mm-hmm.
She signed away. She was able to move on with her life and not relive it. And then he came along, dragged it all out. He did TV shows. He got famous. She got 2 bills, one from the president and one from the pancreas.
Yes.
And then today she came out and said, if this is true, I'm out. Even if it's not true, Stormy, you don't take advice this time? Get out.
Yeah. It's incredible.
Oh, and sorry, one more thing I get upset about this. Because our president is so transparent, the president's pissed. I liked President Obama, don't you dare. But I'm pretty sure when he lost the House in the Senate, it wasn't cherries and smiles in the White House that day.
Yeah.
I'm sure there was a lot of, who you looking at? Like, what do you want me to do? I don't think it was just, well, here we go, guys. Let's all gather around and sing songs together. I'm sure some people's jobs were being threatened.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's like, well, the polls, like, I'm sure it was an unhappy time.
Yeah.
So for them to say he's so mad, they want him to be mad. I don't know why he doesn't play it off. Like, he should just slam the door in the White House, walk out in the front yard, why? And then walk back in and then, like, throw stuff around, like, live it up, you know?
Yeah, okay, I got to move on. But what's the irony here is that Donald Trump treated Stormy Daniels better than Michael Avenatti did because she got paid. Yeah. He paid her, and it was a transaction that she was happy with until he entered her life and said, no, get more for me. And that has complicated matters for her to no end. But enough of that.